Hey everyone. I just want to record this video talking about some of my goals for Spanish throughout the new year. It's the 18th of January, so I'm a little late to making this video, but nonetheless, I think it's good to make. So, some of the goals I have for this year in regards to learning Spanish are actually pretty simple. I want to make it to 600 hours of input to where supposedly I'll be able to understand a native speaker speaking to me like normal. So, currently I'm at about 245 hours, and that's where I'd want to be by the end of the year. Now, I think it's better for goals to have a day by day type of thing. So, for example, I'm going to be trying to get, as of right now, in the past 18 days, I've been getting about 2 hours of input each day, and yeah, that's kind of all it is for my goals, really. But some of the stuff at 245 hours that I'm realizing is very honing in close to 300 hours. And one of the things I'm noticing is I'm able to understand YouTube videos, native YouTube videos made for the native language of their native language, made for native speakers, I should say. I'm starting to understand those videos about my interest, and I've been watching more of those YouTube videos based off some niche stuff I like, and watching those is very good because it's something I really like, and it gives you so much more hours of input, instead of having the Dreaming Spanish videos are very good, but instead of having to just watch those, you can watch stuff on cooking a specific recipe you want, on some video games, on story analysis, on whatever you have, right? And so I've been watching a lot more YouTube videos, and I've actually been watching the first show I'm watching in Spanish is Naruto, the anime. And I'm familiar with Naruto. I've read the manga. I've watched the anime. And it's a show about ninjas, if you don't know. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm watching it in Spanish, and it's not super difficult because, for instance, if they say the name of one of the jutsus they do, I know what it is because I've heard it in English and I've read it in the subtitles and when I've watched it in Japanese. So I can kind of put together an idea of what, okay, those words mean this, and I remember and I hear it over and over, so it's good for memory like that. And I'm finding myself to where I can't understand everything in the show, but more or less, I'd say 80%, 85%, I'm able to understand. And it's pretty cool because I can just binge Naruto, and I love watching Naruto. But I'm at that level where I can do that, but I still think it's good to watch the Dreaming Spanish videos, and let me tell you why. The YouTube videos and TV shows are good and all, but I find they repeat. I think there's a video on this on the Dreaming Spanish website as well, but I find they repeat the same phrases. There's only about, I can't remember the number, I think it's like 3,000 or 2,500 words we use in a language on a day-to-day basis, right? For instance, the word "and" you hear a lot more than the word philosophy, for instance. And these shows repeat, not, I don't want to say they repeat the same words, but the same general 3,000 words. And at the level I'm at, I know more or less most of them, so I'm not really getting too much new words, right? So in that sense, I think the Dreaming Spanish videos are good because they teach you new words and you like learn. So you actually come 600 hours, you'll know what everything in a room is, everything in a house is, everything on the street is, right? Opposed to just basic conversational words. So what I decided to do, and what I'm doing right now, is for my 2 hours, I'm getting about half of that in YouTube videos and shows, which is just Naruto, and the other half in Dreaming Spanish content. And I feel like that is a good balance of learning new stuff while also getting a lot of input in the words I do know. And it's what's working for me. And yeah, so I thought I'd finish this video off with a story about since the last video has been a hot minute, about some of the stuff that's happened to me to where I'm able to understand more. So my boss, I remember he was, I'm going to rapid fire these. My boss was explaining the jobs in the morning to us, to the crews. It's two sets of crews. He explains the job, and the next two crews come in. And me and my guy I work with were finished doing what we were doing, so we were just in there waiting for our turn for him to explain it. And he explained the job in Spanish to the crew before us, and I was able to pick up what he was saying about how we're going to wipe the wood with this certain odor-resistant thing and stuff like that. And I was able to understand. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then later I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, man, if it's no problem, I had to build up the courage to ask him this. I was like, if it's no problem, can you speak to me in Spanish sometimes? I'm trying to learn. I don't really tell people I'm learning Spanish, but to him, me and him are pretty cool. I feel comfortable with him, and I asked him. He said, "Yeah, of course." He speaks Spanish and English, of course. And I remember he was telling me about a job. So me and my partner, we did a job, and another group was gonna take over that. No, I'm sorry. A group was doing that job, and me and my partner were gonna take over the job they were doing. So my boss was telling me that in Spanish, and I understood what he said. But what I thought he said was, me and my partner are gonna go back to the job the other crew was doing, rather than they were gonna go back to the job we were doing instead of us going back to the job they were doing. So I'm kind of explaining it bad, but a little misunderstanding there. But the general thing I understood. And then another guy that works with me, young guy like me, we were talking. He was talking to me in Spanish about raining and stuff, and I had asked him if he could tell me something in Spanish. So he told me, he was like talking about the rain and stuff, and I was able to know all he was talking about. And we were having a conversation. I was speaking in English and he was speaking in Spanish, and I was able to understand him. And it was very cool having stuff like that. And I'm telling you, just the more hours you get in, the more broad stuff is. Just 100 hours ago, I was unable to watch any shows, any YouTube videos, but now I find myself preferring watching shows and YouTube videos in Spanish, and it's honestly such a blessing and so cool to be able to do that. So yeah, that's a few of my stories, a few of my goals for this year, and yeah, that's about it. Have a great day, guys. Take care.